Hello, race fans, and welcome to... Hey, Richard, how come we're not in the picture?
It's because the drone is down at the finish line. Go, drone, go! Race fans, this is Group 5 and... Okay, here we are. This is Group 5 and 6 coming up of the A-Class races. I'm Richard Gere.
And my name is Aaron Tate. You're looking at the contestants, the entries for Group 5, and we're going to begin here. On the outside, the number 41 seed is Vlad from Bay City Diecast. He's driving that Zuru metal machine. And now, the number 29 seed from MCR is Bolo Brown. He's driving that 92 Hummer. All the way from New Zealand, NZ Racing, is Big Mike squeezing into that 1967 Austin Mini Ute. And finally, the number 5 seed from Milestone Diecast is Sweet Caroline driving that 1966 Chevrolet Corvair with big wheels.
Let's get Group 5 racing underway. And the lights are red, but here comes the green lights. Oh, nice start there by Sweet Caroline. She's got the lead coming around, and Big Mike's in second place. And here they come along and over the first of many of the sand dunes, and I like what I'm seeing out of Bolo Brown as he's got the lead coming around through, and he's going to pull out ahead. Sweet Caroline comes in second. Third place for Vlad, and Big Mike just got dumped in the coal train.
They have got to show Big Mike in slow motion. But let's go to the instant replay and look at how smooth this race was for all of them. Vlad is right there behind Sweet Caroline, and here comes Big Mike. Everybody looks like they're doing quite well. Wow, look at that as Bolo Brown takes first right over the top. Those two, and now Big Mike just pops into the coal train looking like he belongs there, which is not good. Sweet Caroline takes second but does get an extra point. That gives her 4. Bolo Brown has 5. Unfortunately for Big Mike, a last place finish is erased by dumping himself in the coal train.
Well, and we're going to get on with race 2, and Bolo Brown is closest to us. Sweet Caroline, Vlad, and Big Mike on the outside. There go the green lights, all of them charging out ahead. And once again, Sweet Caroline has a very fast start. Bolo Brown is right there. Big Mike's got second place right now. He's looking good, and so is Bolo Brown. But I'll tell you what, Sweet Caroline has a very sizable lead. We're watching Bolo come through. He's looking quite good, and here comes Vlad, and he takes third. Big Mike flips over. He'll get a point, but we're going to find out who's on their wheels. And right now, it's okay. We've got 3 of the 4 on their wheels.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the instant replay here and watch Vlad come into the picture right at the end and overtake Big Mike. What an important pass for him. Sweet Caroline continues to lead. Bolo is coming in second, but Vlad takes up the third position. Now, as they enter into the half pipe, it's so critical that they find a line that helps them carry over the finish line. And there you see Big Mike taking a little bit too high of a line. The first 3 drivers come through on their wheels, but Big Mike has to settle for upside down. Sweet Caroline leads with 10, and Bolo Brown has 9 after 2 races, and we have 2 remaining.
Yes. It's Vlad and Big Mike are going to have to make their move now. Big Mike is closest to us. Vlad is on the outside. Let's watch them go. Here we go. Vlad's got a slow start. He's going to have to get going. And Sweet Caroline, look at the lead she has made for herself coming over the dunes. Watch closely. Beautiful execution. Coming around the turn. Slowed up a little bit. And look at that as the Hummer from Bolo Brown takes the center of the course nicely. Vlad takes third. Here comes Big Mike. And he's backwards. Oh no! Into the coal train he goes again.
Well, race fans, it looks like Vlad has things under control, but poor Big Mike is just having some problems with that final jump. Now, this third race was crucial. As we watch Big Mike spin around, that slowed him up a little bit, but then he gets his nose forward, and you got to give him credit for that. Here comes Big Mike, and give him a big hand, actually, as the other drivers come slipping on through nicely. And Big Mike, I think he's trying to get his money's worth, making sure he covers the entire course. Big Mike unfortunately doesn't score any more points, but as the third race comes to a conclusion, Bolo Brown and Sweet Caroline have definitely separated themselves.
It's the last race. Vlad is closest to us, and I'll tell you what, he is going to have to get ahead of Bolo Brown, and Bolo Brown is going to have some sort of accident to happen in order for Vlad to pull it off. Right now, Sweet Caroline, once again, beautiful long lead. Bolo Brown is hanging tough, and Vlad is hanging tough. Here we come around. Let's see what happens. and Bolo Brown's going to pull on ahead. Here comes Vlad and Mike, and I'm not even sure if Big Mike crossed the finish line. And we've got a couple of racers on their wheels. That's good to see. And the judges are saying Big Mike will get a point. Okay.
Today's race has very easily showcased Sweet Caroline's speed off the line and Bolo Brown's consistency. Here they come, but you can see Bolo Brown is very efficient around the pretzel turn, and once again he pulls ahead of his competition. Meanwhile, Big Mike rolls off right at the finish line, but we will give him a point for that, and Sweet Caroline wins. It's Bolo Brown and Sweet Caroline that will be moving on from Group 5. Let's go to commercial break.
Okay, race fans, you know there are 48 individual racers in the A-Class. This is Group 6.
And you're looking at the number 42 seed. From Puff's Racing is Puff, driving a 1987 Dodge D100. The next driver in Group 6 is the number 30 seed, and that's G-Pack Racing Greg, driving a Nissan hardbody truck. Here we have from Iron's Diecast, Ironman, and he's the number 18 seed. He's driving that Ford F-150 Sandblaster. And finally, the number 6 seed from Live Young Diecast is Lone Star, driving that Dune Buggy.
All right, race fans, what do you think? Race number 1 of Group 6 is about to start. Lone Star is closest to us. Puff is right next to him. Iron Man and Mr. Craig. Iron Man's got the lead now. The others are pretty close to him, and there goes Lone Star. He's got the lead. Iron Man in second, and Puff has just run off the track. He's had some trouble on the sand dunes. Look at that. Oh my goodness! Iron Man just slid on through. He's got first place. Lone Star takes second. What an amazing finish.
Yeah, and for Greg and for Puff, there was some trouble on the way down the mountain. Let's take a look here on the instant replay, and you're going to see Greg get caught sideways and he tips over. And he just decides to try and make it as far as possible upside down. Now take a look here. That is fast. As Iron Man comes through, he is so fast, and Lone Star is not able to get past him. No extra points this round, but Iron Man has the lead with 5, and Lone Star takes 3 points.
Yeah, maybe a little too fast for that track. He got on the half pipe, and it was topsy-turvy for Iron Man, who's on the outside. Greg is closest to us. Let's hope he improves. And there we've got Iron Man in the lead. In second place is Lone Star. The other drivers are falling behind a little bit. They're going to have to speed things up if they want to have any hope of competing. Lone Star. Oh no, and Iron Man. This time Lone Star makes it around. Iron Man's upside down. The other drivers finish. And, oh, wait a minute. We're getting word, race fans. Check this out. The train comes around and Lone Star has derailed Billy.
Yeah, congratulations to Lone Star for a gorgeous pass and collecting extra points. Take a look again here as Iron Man, he was looking fast and he had the inside line, but he once again had trouble coming onto the half pipe. Now that is some expert driving as Lone Star just swerves around the accident, and now we see he comes straight on top of the train tracks. Lone Star with 5 plus 1 on his wheels and 2 more for derailing Billy's train puts him in the lead with 11.
Greg, Puff, come on guys, it's time to get going. It's race 3, and they've got some room to make up here if they're going to catch either Iron Man or Lone Star. They've looked good and they've popped out in the lead. Iron Man and Lone Star first and second. All right, he's close, but now he's falling behind. And once again, we're looking sharp by Iron Man. Here comes Lone Star. He pulls out ahead. He's in first. Second place for those two. Oh, they both crash. Here comes Greg. That's not where he wants to end up. How about Puff? Woo! And he brings it to a halt just in time, but that's only 1 point for fourth.
Watch what happens here. After Iron Man and Lone Star get ahead, Greg spins around, and then Puff, he gets caught off the track and is actually trying to get back on. Take a look here as he struggles, but then manages to recover and makes his way onto the half pipe. Lone Star wins. Both he and Iron Man collect 5 and 3 points respectively. Lone Star is in the lead with 16, and unfortunately for Greg and Puff, their chances are over.
Yeah, it's a rather decisive race for the top 2 seeds as Iron Man and Lone Star will move on. Lone Star's on the outside, and lane 2 is what Iron Man is in, and he pulls out in the lead once again. Lone Star's matched him, though, and now is pulled on ahead. They are really stretching the gap. Watch Lone Stars zoom along, and he's got the lead. He's got the advantage. Oh, what a nice, fast run. Here comes Iron Man. He does tip over. And the other two drivers are stuck on the half pipe. Look at that time, 16.23. That is definitely showcasing Lone Star's speed ability.
And meanwhile, Greg is going to showcase his lane changing ability. He does get in front of Puff, and as you'll see in the rest of the instant replay, Puff is just not able to get past him. Those two are sunbathing on the half pipe, and the final scores are in. Iron Man gets to move on, and Lone Star wins with 22 points.
Indeed he does, and an extra point for landing on his wheels. Race fans, the Class A, Groups 5 and 6 are now fading out. The drivers that did not make it leaving Milestone Diecast, Bolo Brown, Live Young Diecast, and Irons Diecast. Let's do the dunes.
Are you tracking?